Welcome to Nasdaq TradeTalks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. What's the best way for people to put their wealth in perspective? Seth Thompson, head of diverse market strategy at Bernstein Private Wealth Management, joins me for Financial Literacy Month, which of course takes place every April to discuss. James, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thanks for having me, Jill.
You got it. Tell us more about your background. What's the motivation behind your work in leveling the playing field for multicultural individuals?
Sure. So the last 25 years, I've been in the financial services industry in various roles, ranging from sales to marketing. I wanted to make sure that my journey landed me in wealth management, right? I wanted to find a role where I could leverage the things I'm really passionate about, the things I find to be really purposeful with my profession. So as a Black male in the industry, just kind of recognizing that the wealth landscape looks a little bit different today than it did. When I started 25 years ago, I wanted to use my work and my firm's work and whatever privilege I have to bring to the table to make sure that we and I have an opportunity to kind of close a lot of the information gaps, the access gaps to a community of people who have been underserved for a while now.
What's the best way for people to put their wealth in perspective? Tell us more about Bernstein's Making Money Meaningful discovery process.
Yeah, so one's financial journey is very subjective, right? So I would not expect that your journey and my journey would be the same. We might have many things in common, right? But for us, the way you make your money meaningful is to really be intentional about what matters to you the most, right? Our process of deep discovery really starts with really understand what drives what you want your legacy to be, right? You have to evaluate your goals. You have to evaluate your values, right? And make sure you are aligned with people who are like-minded and mission aligned to really help you bring that forward. So with all of that, right, when you build your plan, you now have key factors embedded that really allow you to, one, stay the course. But as you move from creating wealth to sustaining wealth to transferring the wealth, right, it's beyond the numbers. You actually are building your legacy, and it's really important that you make sure that your priorities and values are embedded in that process.
Tell us about your approach with leveraging the 4 E's.
Yeah, so when I started the work a couple of years ago with multicultural and diverse wealth creators, again, it's not understated. There are individuals that exist who have wealth and resources who haven't historically been able to engage all of the resources and the access to financial services. For me, the 4 E's are equity, experience, exposure, and education. And by having an equitable wealth management process, we really believe that we can kind of close those gaps to make sure that everyone has the same access to the information and access to the resources and access to firms who can help create equal outcomes. And with that process, we really make sure through the equitable wealth management that we are addressing the things that you need to learn and know to build that journey. So that's the education piece, right? Exposure and experience is really take into account that this might be the first time, right? We're really working with individuals who have success and wealth, but they might be first generation wealth creators, right? So the 4 E's is just a mindset. It's an approach to make sure that we're really addressing the things that might keep some individuals from having equal outcomes as others.
Why is it important for multicultural investors to be working with advisors who share similar backgrounds?
The journey may be new, right? You should surround yourself with trusted advisors and knowledge mentors who can help you guide, who can help guide your journey, right? The one thing we want to make sure for anyone, right, who might be new to where they are in their life with respect to kind of sustaining the wealth and building a legacy is to make sure that, hey, someone like James or our team or Bernstein Private Wealth Management could really identify some of the pitfalls, the potholes that may be along your journey that could tremendously derail what you're looking to build. There's this thing called sudden wealth syndrome, and it's real, right? So when you think about the people's access to creating these opportunities, what comes with a lot of success in the wealth also comes with complexity. And if you don't address the complexity turns into anxiety, and it can completely derail, your experience. So yes, having the resources is great, right? But we really want to make sure that individuals have access to the knowledge mentors who can help them build the legacy they want without a lot of the derailment that could be along one's journey.
And finally, how are you promoting financial literacy and inclusion among your advisors and within the wealth management industry at large?
Yeah, so I've been really working hard to make sure I'm part of the conversation. As I get to work with dozens of advisors in many areas around the country, just really being part of the fabric and the ecosystem of the community and the wealth creators that exist. I also have a podcast, Changing the Trajectory, that really leverages the stories of really successful individuals, where their stories can help inspire people, right, to really uncover how you can change the trajectory of your wealth impact and influence. And lastly, I speak a lot, right? Really engage with students and people of all different shapes and sizes. So really, again, bringing whatever intelligence and resources I have to the table to be a knowledge mentor myself and help inspire people to do things differently.
All right, James, we appreciate the work. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Great. Thanks, Jill.